Yep.
But hi, everybody. This is Matthew Poes with Poes Acoustics. I'm at CEDIA 2024, and I have Nick here with me. You are part of L-Acoustics.
I am.
Tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then let's talk about L-Acoustics.
Great. Thank you so much for coming. First of all, really appreciate it. So I'm Nick Fisher. I'm the Business Development Director for L-Acoustics within the home and yacht verticals. So L-Acoustics, 40-year-old business. It's our 40-year anniversary next week, actually, which is very exciting. We are known for live sound, concert-grade sound. That's where we come from. That's our heritage. Our founder was the pioneer of line array technology back in the 80s. And then 4 years ago, we made the transition into the world of residential and marine, working with systems integrators, bringing this technology into the home, using the same products, the same technologies, wanting to elevate the listener experience within the home environment. So yeah, really excited to be here. We've got a great space this year that we're very pleased with. We're showcasing some of our new products here on this demo wall outside. We've got a 11.1.6 theater, which you've just experienced.
It was actually, so I was talking to you earlier about that. I get demos all the time, and everybody wants to impress me. They know that I have experience in this stuff. You want to impress the press. You want to impress people with it who are industry veterans. And so everybody says, Matt, that was amazing, right? And the answer is always yes, because I have to be nice. But the reality is it's usually kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
It's hard. And the thing is, I usually give them a lot of slack because it's hard to put together a good demo here.
It is.
This was actually a very, very good demo.
Thank you.
And while there were things you can pick that weren't your fault, show issues, it's very noisy here. And the room doesn't fully block out all that noise.
Correct.
But the quality of the bass I heard was actually among the best I've heard at CEDIA
Wow.
and any of these demos. So the bass was very good. But the thing is, like, that doesn't make a demo.
No.
The sound immersiveness, the quality of the speakers themselves, the tonality, the dynamic range, that's stuff that matters too. That was all really good. Like, I was very impressed that the sound maintained itself as well as it did. And that I think some people have the notion, it's like, well, if you guys have concert experience, doesn't that mean it's going to be like these really bright, shrill pro speakers? But the reality is good pro speakers can sound quite good. And these are not just pro speakers. Like, you have made these for the residential market using technology based on what you do in the pro market, leading to something whose end result is actually extremely high fidelity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our whole ethos, when Christian, our founder, started the company in the 80s, he loves music, right? First and foremost, that's what he loves. But he realized he couldn't play instruments. He wanted to be a mix engineer and realized that wasn't his forte either. He has a PhD in particle physics, and that's where he came out with the line array concept, because he realized the importance, and he wanted to make instrument sound as accurate as possible on a stage, and vocals, of course, at the biggest possible scale, because stadiums, arenas grow big. Stadiums in particular always struggle with acoustics and all the rest of it. So he wanted to make those instruments and vocal sound as true to life as possible on the biggest scale. So scaling that down, actually, that's not so difficult, because we apply that same technology, and that's still the very ethos of the company. And when I joined L-Acoustics, I was working right with Christian. My desk was 2 meters away from his, and we were doing it all kind of through the COVID lockdowns and everything like that. And people in the process were like, wow, you get to work with Christian to do this stuff? I was like, yeah, this is his passion. He wants to bring this home.
Yeah. Well, and the passion is, I think you see the passion in the products, and all of you. I mean, you guys were really pushing for me to come out and like get a proper demo and not miss out. I'm really glad I did. The product is really good. You know, it looks really good. I actually think it's got understated elegance to it. It has a French look to it, but which is a good thing in this case. A lot of stuff like this, often you wouldn't want it on display. It has a utilitarian finish.
It does.
But it's actually a nice utilitarian finish. It looks good. And I know you can do,
we can do custom colors, we can do everything. Everything is built in France, manufactured in France, just outside of house. Wow, someone's having a party.
Big one, apparently, yeah.
Yeah, so
for those who don't know, there is actually a surprising amount of alcohol served on the floor at CEDIA.
Yes, there is. So everything is still made in Paris. We're very passionate about that, all the amplifiers, electronics, and everything we do. And again, you know, we're an engineering company, and that's why I wanted to reach out to you, because everything that you do is engineering based. And
yes, and that people who know my channel and know me know that what I do is based on engineering principles. The reason why I'm involved with CEDIA's R10 committees is because it's about helping to put together best practices that are firmly from engineering principles.
Absolutely.
And the biggest challenge I often have is that the speaker manufacturers that I work with do not necessarily focus on engineering principles. And so I look for companies like L-Acoustics who that is what they do. One of the reasons why I was excited then when I started to talk with you all to actually work with L-Acoustics is that the way that you approach sound is so different from what's typical in the residential market. In the pro market, it is completely normal. But we don't have that same attention to design in the residential market. So, for instance, and hopefully I'll get this article out or probably a video as well, but I had you guys put together a heat map of my backyard, my pool area, if it was using your speakers so I could show people, because that's part of your design approach. There are other companies that will do something kind of like that, but not necessarily to the same degree of sophistication unless they're in the pro market. But you guys are doing this with residential products. Well,
yeah, I mean, well, and they're residential products, but they're also pro products. The Siva, which you can't see there out of shot here, but the white ones.
Well, we'll get pictures and videos of that too.
Adele did her CBS special with Oprah at the Griffith Observatory. Those are the same speakers all the way around her. We've got home theaters with those exact same products in, all the rest of it. And that was what excited me when RP22 started kind of bubbling up from the surface, and we're now very involved with the R10 standards committee, is because we come at it from, we have those facts, we have that information already.
Yeah, you're already in position to do that.
That software, I cannot tell you, it blows my mind. I was on a yacht recently where we were doing a demo for a customer, and we'd already drawn it up in Sound Vision, and it said it would be 115.6 dBc at the listening position.
Yeah.
We fired the system up, took the measurements with our P1 processor with a mic scatter to it, 115.6 dBc. And I sat there, I was like, what? How is this? Like, I didn't expect it to be that accurate. And it is.
Well,
it's pro.
People, so I do a lot of simulation work in what I do. And a lot of times people, they're like, but the simulations are wrong, right? I'm like, they're only as wrong as the data you feed into them.
Absolutely.
If you know what you're doing and you have the right data, you can get very accurate information from simulations. Actually, this is a side story, but you'll appreciate it, and it goes with our audience right now. I did an article, or video, I should say, for Gene Dillon Audioholics once, where I wanted to show people what happens if you use speakers in a certain way. And so the people had gotten into this idea where they wanted to take speakers and put them on top of each other. So they would take like a bookshelf and take a second one and flip it, put it on top of it. He calls it flip stacking.
Yes,
and I said, look, unless you know what you're doing, that's a very bad idea.
Yes.
And so I said, look, I can show you. So I took data that we had. It was the anechoic data I had taken from this bookshelf that I have. I didn't really feel like flip stacking it and measuring it at the time, but I knew I could simulate what would happen. So I put all the data into a computer program I had, and I ran a simulation as if I was building a speaker array that way. And I showed him what the data showed, and he goes, well, but that's just a simulation. I'm like, reality is going to be the same. And he goes, no, nobody's going to believe it. So I said, fine. Took the speaker outside, flip stacked it, measured it, took it back inside, did the same thing and measured it, showed him the simulation, the real result, which laid right on top of each other, other than in the base. That was the only where they were different. And then the in-room one where laid right on top of everything else. I was like,
comb filtering nightmare.
It was a comb filtering nightmare, and I was able to simulate it perfectly accurately to know what would happen.
And that was, Christian was it was in the 70s when he was going to like the Grateful Dead shows with the big walls of sound and stuff. And he would stand there in the audience and be like, science tells me that doesn't work. Yeah, that's why I went along and created that.
And that's why line arrays, people think that's a line array. That's not a line array. This is a line array. We'll show people in a minute what that really is. But line arrays are designed from the ground up. The spacing between the drivers is critical. The path length is critical. And the crossovers are designed to match that. And that's what he specialized in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then you guys do beamforming? Do I have that right or no?
No, we don't.
Don't do beamforming. Oh, well. In the future, there'll be some beam. But line arrays actually do have some really good value in the outdoor market, which is one of the reasons why I looked at it. And so I'll show people the SIBA later so you can see why I think that's valuable. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
No, honestly, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
Yes, it was a really good demo. For those of you who have never heard of L-Acoustics, you've got to give them a shot. It's a really good company with a great product. For those of you who know the brand but have never experienced it, find a way to get a demo. And if you can't find a way, contact me. I'll figure something out.
We'll make it happen.
Everybody else? Yeah, we'll make it happen. This is CEDIA 2024. Again, I'm Matthew Poes of Poes Acoustics, and this has been a great event. Keep on watching. I got more videos coming.